This is an impressive project. This is a game, a little well-known franchise called Dragon's Dogma. This game has had a very interesting timeline of things, but specifically, this is not Dragon's Dogma 1 or 2. This is the online game that Capcom released at some point via their separate online studio. And this game shut down in 2019, but it's a group of dedicated fans have been reverse. I don't want to say what they were doing, but they somehow brought the game back alive with a real public server. But even if you don't have the public server, you can even run your own server for this game, which I don't know the legality of that. So this is a bit of a weird segment because sometimes with stuff like this, different companies will have different ideas about how they'll react to it. Not everybody appreciates this type of work, but at least as somebody who's never played this game, who's only ever heard good things about Dragon's Dogma Online, and who, to me at least, I look at that type of developmental work and that idea of trying to form an understanding of a piece of technology from what you as the player see as something incredibly difficult and thus worthy of respect. It's something that I myself would not have neither the skills nor the patience to do. And so to me, they're a whole different class of a developer of some kind. And for them to do that for a game just for the love of the game, and they don't even take money for this. They just host a server and you can just play it on the line and play it. There's a love for the game there, and you'll see how much it shows too. This game is interesting because I have a couple of friends who have played this back when it was still alive. This is my character, the Miser. Don't worry about that. And what's interesting is that before this game died, it was fairly niche, but it still had an English player base, so much so that the game had an English patch. It was sort of like an English patch that people just made for the sake of just, trying to see if it would work and whatever. And it actually, this one uses pieces of that patch apparently, but also adds its own translations, and even adds more to the game as a whole, because you have all the cash shop items available for you, I think temporarily, given their latest video on it, as well as just, in general, all access to content, insofar as even things that you would have had to pay for. But I wasn't sure about exactly how the game was before. It's from the video, they mentioned a lot of the things that you used to have to pay for is now a part of the game as a baseline. But I don't know if that extends to things like quests and stuff. But in terms of gameplay, this game is fascinating. When I heard about Dragon's Dogma Online, after having finished Dragon's Dogma 1 on stream, as well as killing all the way up to the Ur Dragon or something, I wanted to play it, and I was sad that it was already gone. My friend who played it said it was one of the best action MMOs that he's played in a very long time. If at all, because this is a fully action MMO RPG, which is different from, I think, your tab... Well, it's for sure different from your tab targeting, but it's even different from other action MMO RPGs in that it's the particular blend of the Dragon's Dogma style of gameplay, which is strange in that it's very combo heavy, but you define the combos and you define when the skills flow in. It's not as complex or it's not as rotation heavy as, say, something like Terra was. In Terra, a lot of your skills were on a rotation that you would use. Here, you have less rotation and less choices because you have to you only have, I think, 4 slots from what I saw, but you have more freedom and more choice in how you'd want to activate these skills. On top of that, the verticality matters, so your class matters. I'm a fighter, but this online mode apparently has a ton of the... Basically, it seems like all the base classes of Dragon's Dogma 1, plus 2 extras. A druid, and what seems to be the class that I'm playing in Dragon's Dogma 2 with the smoke and the incense thing that you swing around. I forget the name of it now. The Mystic or something? So you have this gameplay that's very much about the choices that you make within combat with a very limited set of moves that I find more appealing to me because there's a lot more dynamism to it, wrapped up in an MMO package where you still also get pawns, but I haven't gotten there yet, so you're going to help me get to the pawns, all of you together, because one of these quests apparently gives you a pawn, but I don't remember which one. I'm going to try to get the correct ones. I'm going to assume elimination matters. These are all quests that you can just get and fight people with, and we can just try them all out and see what's going on in this game. Because this game is actually very impressive with how much work they've done. As you can tell, a lot of the game is still in Japanese, because this MMO was Japan only. You had to have a VPN to play it. And I don't recall VPNs being that popular back then. VPNs were sort of to me, a newer thing that showed up later in the lifetime, compared to nowadays, where you get an ad for NordVPN every 5 minutes. What's interesting is that even in spite of that, apparently there again, I had a number of friends who had played this game even while it was in Japan only. So it was clearly good enough that people were willing to go through that at a time when it wasn't as easily accessible. And so it's strange that the game is gone, because apparently this MMO and Monster Hunter, from various Reddit threads that I read and just various, as much as I could, because I was trying to figure out why it disappeared. Apparently, this game and Monster Hunter were the only two that were making money from their online arm, their online subsidiary. So it's interesting to me that the game died, because they realistically probably could have kept this thing running for a while. But again, that's sort of neglecting the realities of how difficult it is to make a game and run a game and keep servers going, especially when it's on a Dragon's Dogma 1 game, when Dragon's Dogma 2 is being made and now it's live, and then Itsuno left the studio, who the creator of Dragon's Dogma and Devil May Cry, and so now we'll never get it again. The series is probably dead. But you see exactly what you're working with here. It's just Dragon's Dogma. And what's crazy is that I really enjoyed Dragon's Dogma 1. The story was nothing to really look at except for the overarching concept. I really enjoyed the idea of the overarching concept of the Arisen and like the cycle. But the key to the game, to me, was the usage of your pawns and the things that you could do out in the game world, and how strangely forward-thinking the action combat was. For instance, all of this, look at this. Okay, now there's goblins everywhere. And it's like, it feels a lot like the same game, but wrapped up inside of an MMO package, where you can play in multiplayer with other players, which is sick. And I really, really enjoyed the game as it was within Dragon's Dogma 1. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is a very similar but different style of gameplay, where you have a lot less choice in how you want to go about things, because you have less skill slots and everything. But I still think both of them have their own unique blend of action combat you can't get anywhere else. And so when the game is so focused on the gameplay, as it was within the first and even the second game, really, and you have so many different things that you can do, and you have a world to explore that feels genuinely well built, it's such a fun experience to like have. But then now within an MMO package, which I think is crazy. And again, the idea of reverse engineering something from the final artifact that you have, so only from what you experience and only from what you believe something should be, that's a much harder process, because they don't have any real, like, aside from playing the game, how do you know what a particular enemy should do? How do you know what it should feel like when you fight it? How do you know how much damage it should do to you? How do you know how the combat in the counter should play out, right? How do you know any of this without any prior reference, which no longer exists because the game is no longer alive? Maybe you have YouTube videos and that's really about it. And that's impressive to me, because if that's all you have, how do you make something like this? An online server to allow you to play the game as it was when it first launched. That's very impressive to me. And you even see the game itself too is like, obviously the client is something that they didn't have to make. It just sort of came with the game. But there's so many different things that you can do in this game. It's basically, from what little I've played of it thus far, because I'm still very early on, it seems like the game is just Dragon's Dogma 1, but in an MMO package, which is crazy to me, because it just doesn't make any sense in terms of how this is possible, but it totally works out well. Where the hell am I supposed to go to get these wolves? I maybe should have looked at the quest board properly. Just luck, we go. Can I see? Obtain animal pelts. Defeat rogue fighter. There's no time limit, but where are they? Compass. I wonder if this game follows the same formula as the original game, in terms of, like, if you want to find something, you have to go and find it. I seriously wonder how this game actually was meant to be played, because the multiplayer unlocks past a certain quest. There was a video on it, and the setup video is I'm from a different time when the language was very different. And so when I watch that setup video and I see the things that they say, I think to myself, I wouldn't say that now, but holy shit, the person who made that video has incredible comedic timing, because it's like, if your friend tells you that they can't join you in multiplayer, call them, and then they say a word that I can't say, and I'm like, okay, well, I wouldn't say it like that, but goddamn, that is really good comedic timing. But it just goes to show that there's so much complexity in this game, right? And it was apparently a very unique way of playing, because if you need to finish a quest to be able to play multiplayer with someone, and you need to wait until you get to that point, what does is this how the game was supposed to feel like? Originally, it's like you will go solo for a bit, and then there's like a quest to obtain a pawn. And then, even though it's an MMO, is it like a lobby-based thing? It's all sorts of questions I don't have an answer to because I wasn't there, right? Like, and very few people in the English-speaking world were apparently there playing this game. Like, again, it was in Japan only. You needed a VPN back in like 2015 or something, like a very long time ago. And yet, if they made this game again and they brought this game to life today, it would be so fun. Because even though the combat loop for me right now is very basic, I have one skill, I find myself enthralled by what I'm seeing, and I find myself engaged with the loop, the gameplay loop, and how responsive it is. Again, I'm playing on the public server, quote-unquote, that it has. It's sort of like, I imagine this is probably their like test server or something. But you can even run your own server for your own friends. Again, I have no clue how they were able to do all of this. It's why I look at this as a technical achievement as well, and why I'm so awed by it. But it's crazy that the world just doesn't ever get to experience this again, except for in this forum. And who knows how long, right? Like, at some point, this might be something that we never get to play ever again. Like, there's a very good chance that somebody's gonna look at this from Capcom and then go, hey, very cool and all, but you can't do that. It's illegal or something, right? Because there's a couple of things about it. I won't tell you how I got this game, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I can't tell you anything. I don't think so, at least. You have to figure it out on your own. When you do, tell me what your username is so that I can party with someone, maybe. If I can figure out what quest I'm on. I just don't know what quest that I have to do. I love my character's voice. Oh my god, it's Ox. One thing that is interesting about this, though, is that I couldn't figure out how to climb things yet. And I don't know if this game has the same climbing mechanic as the first game, and as the second game, too. It's sort of hard to tell what it is that I'm missing to be able to do the climbing stuff. But even if there is one, because I did find that was one of the few things about this game that it did very uniquely compared to other such games. Because very few games do the Shadow of the Colossus style climbing enemies thing. And while it was buggy, like very often we'd fight a Cyclops and I'd be thrown off into some random corner, I had a lot of fun with that, with the mechanic. What I'm not having fun with is the fact that this game, just like Dragon's Dogma 1, has a volume issue where it's very loud in some places but not others. And also, I think it's happening again, because when I played Dragon's Dogma 1, the brightness of the game was completely different from what I saw in-game. And I think it's the same. Because the brightness that you see, you can see things. I can't see shit. It's not even like my monitor is not bright. It's as if it's showing a whole different view of the game. It's fascinating to think that a game like this died. Because again, one, MMOs seem very popular within Japan. It seems like a Japanese thing to do, to play and enjoy MMOs. I'm not saying this as like a, yes, it's the Japanese, you know what I mean, type of thing. I'm saying this as somebody who's sort of experienced that myself. Hell, something like White Knight Chronicles was incredibly popular. It still is. And that's like a PS3 game, a PS3 online game that, you know, you had to be in the know to be able to know to play that game. And that just seems to be how Japan is. Like, there's certain interests that, you know, go very strongly, Final Fantasy XIV. And people love these games, and they just keep playing it for years and years. I'm so surprised that this game died. And honestly, this game, again, like, the gameplay is so good. Just ignoring the UI being in my face all the time. Well, why is there so much fucking shit in the way? It's enlarged UI. Can I just scale value when using enlarged UI? How about I go down to here? Thank you. I just love how tactile everything feels. Oh, look. This is the thing that I saw inside the video. The first ever, the first thing that you'll see, the first port crystal. Nice. Port crystal for Tell has been a thing. Register is my favorites. I'm good. But this game would absolutely demolish something like Final Fantasy XIV if it was more popular, I think. Because it's so much more fun to play. At least to me, but I'm an action guy. I'm like action pilled. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian, and I don't know what you're saying. I'm going to assume most of this is untranslated Sans quest. So I still need to find the wolves. I don't know where the wolves are. And I think in particular, this gameplay, the way this game plays out, and the way that you have to, can I just kill these in front of you? Are you gonna be mad? I'm killing her oxen, and she doesn't really care. She's just watching me kill her oxen. Ah, yes, indeed. You don't see this from MMOs, a game that you need to explore. Like a lot of MMOs nowadays, and you know, this is for better and for worse, will have things like quest markers. They'll just take you to some place. But I remember the one thing that I was very impressed by with Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2 was specifically the fact that it excluded those features. I always thought that a game that forced you to really engage with the world was that much more fun, because when you're forced to engage with the world, you form almost like a tie to it. It's weird to say because it's not really like a living thing, but it makes it feel more alive when you need to actually think about how you would go about it and how you would need to understand things and how you need to sort of like view things. It made it that much more meaningful when you did play the game. Because you had to think about where are you going to go and how are you going to do all this stuff, and like, okay, well, what is this quest asking you for? What does it mean when it's saying, like, go and deal with the bandits, right? So it's like, what does it mean by deal with them? It's not really saying for you to kill them, and you have choices. You can choose to kill them, you can help them. Or it gives you, like, a riddle, and it says, try to find this place. And it's just a riddle. There's no quest marker. You just have to go and find it. It seems like this is what the MMO is trying to do, too, because I don't know where the fuck these wolves are. There's no way it's that hard to find a wolf. Are you a wolf? What are you? You're a goblin. I'm also actually surprised that the game is at nighttime. Because when I played last, I think 1 or 2 nights ago when I was setting this up, because my good friend, so my buddy showed me this and he was like, hey, it's alive. And I was like, holy shit, I tried it. I tried it out and it was daytime. I wonder if there's I guess if I had my own server, I could then decide how to change it, right? E seems like a grab button. I think that's my grab button. Oh my god, I think I found out how to play the game. Was that the same in Dragon's Dogma 1? I actually can't recall. What is holding the bridge? If I grab you, if I launch onto you, this is not a grab button. That's just me picking up items. There has to be a goblin somewhere. I mean, a wolf somewhere, right? Wolves and bandits, no? Online station. Check golden gemstones. You sound like a bandit. Holy shit, you're an orc. So it's an orc! What's interesting is that because the director of this game is gone, I wonder what the life cycle of this game is going to be like. Not the online game, but specifically the series as a whole. It's a very well-loved series, right? And people really do enjoy playing it. But without the main guy who had all the ideas, I wonder what do you do now with this series? Is it dead in the water? Do we just say that the DLC for Dragon's Dogma 2 will never come out? Like, what happens at this point? What was the noise? Catacomb level 13. There's a bunch of skeletons over here. I can't grab them. But I feel like I'm getting close to something. So, actually, it tells me, kind of, Heidel Plains. Maybe I'm just not paying attention. Heidel Plains, Heidel Catacombs. The Black Wolves hideout. Bloodwater Bank, Heidel Plains. You probably get animal pelts in these plains. I mean, obviously, somewhere here. Where's the wolves? I wish I knew more languages. You know? I wish I could read Japanese. I wish I could read Japanese, or I know where the fuck this goes. Go to Archibald. Okay, so I'm doing the training. Rogue fighters, 3 of them. Wolves, level 3. What is a level 3 zone? Again, it's such a weird format for an MMORPG. It's just a format that you would never really see. No, I don't want to register this as my favorite. But that's kind of what you want from MMORPG. It brings back a feeling that feels a lot like what, let's say, the early days of WoW was. Not to say that it didn't have quest markers, but specifically that feeling of like, wow, you're now in this new fantasy realm where there's a bunch of unknown things, you need to figure out what's going on. And all you really have is the ability for you to walk around and explore. Because while there's quest markers, it doesn't tell you anything else. It's fun to learn about new things. This is everything about that, but, you know, amplified by 100. So I can't find the fucking wolf. It's also interesting because I'm currently... I think I'm the only player on the public server. So I wonder how many people... Like, would I have seen other people fighting monsters out here as well? What would this have looked like within a real... When the game was live? Are you a rogue? Yeah, you're a rogue fighter! Yeah! Why are you so tall? Oi! Oh! Okay, with the killer mage. Training rogue fighter. Okay, you're not the guy that I want. Yeah! How do I get back my skill menu? How do you do? How do I get back my skill menu? Once more, over here. Skискade! No, please, I need to see my skill menu. I don't remember my skill findings. It's shift. Okay, shift is left click is that. Okay, well, I'm dead. Yeah! Use a revival force and recover full health. Audience chamber, you'll be afflicted with weakness. Use 1 golden gemstone. These are apparently free because apparently you're supposed to pay for these. And pay for them often. But the private server, like, you can just have it and you can keep on bring yourself back to life. I can't fight these guys. I don't think I'm strong enough. Or good enough. It really is either or. The fish while I'm here. Wow, they actually move exactly like the single player game does. That's fascinating. Again, it's crazy that that's such a complex style of gameplay. I have healing potions? Sure. Okay, so how would you put this into your inventory? Drag. Okay, that's very nice. I'd love to see the hotbar, please. I get it. Use the Kindle to ignite your lantern. Really? Holy shit, I have a lantern! Grants the user the specified status effect. Sprites, parry, apps, that. That's not equipment. Yeah! Oh, they jump. Invulnerable. Wow. Invulnerable? Why? Oh my god. You're fine to fight for some reason. Guard. Okay, so there's a guard break. I don't have the ability to attack from behind my shield because I don't have that skill. But there we go. Okay, that didn't do anything. Okay, now he reset again. Okay, so he reset again too. Okay, well, I guess I'm walking too far for me to do anything. Maybe we can fight them. I just need to pick my... I need to stand somewhere better. My damage sucks. I should have bought something. There was a store back in town that I could have bought a weapon from, but I didn't bother. Though, I think this is sort of the classic Dragon's Dogma experience. When you have to try and kill something and you don't have any damage. Like, I remember in that game, the way the stats worked with the defense and how much damage you needed to do, it did feel like you were tickling people. Especially at the higher levels, like it felt like you were really tickling someone. Okay, listen, buddy. You don't want this, man. I had to kill this guy. Stop throwing the hook. Stop hooking me, please. I'm begging you, please. If I played this, I would have been flamed. I think every single person in Japan would have flamed me. Because I am awful at this. I'm so bad at this. How did I beat Dragon's Dogma 1 up to the Ur Dragon? How did I play that game? I'm almost impressed that I even got to the end game. Let alone killing a certain boss, just getting to the zone. Okay, we'll revive with this again. And he's like, holy shit, he's alive! Story-wise, I don't know how the story is, because I didn't really pay attention to it, which is sort of my bad. But at the same time, it's like, it's in a whole different language, and I don't know how to read it or, like, listen to it. So, I don't know if we are unarisen. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry about that. Just constant interruptions for fuck all. I'm surprised I even got as far as I did within Dragon's Dogma 1. Seeing my performance here and seeing how poorly I'm playing this, I don't know how I even got close to beating, or I did beat the game. No, please, how do I beat this menu? No, stop saying a track. No, please wait a moment before speaking again. I don't want to speak. Please, let me stop speaking, please. I'm begging you, please. I don't want to speak anymore, please. I want to use my potion. Stop taking over my input, you fuckers. Please, I'm begging you. Oh, you press Alt. Jesus. Item bag. No, put this here. Oh. You know what? I do like how you instantly use items. It's slightly different from the main game. Artisan's lumber knife? Sure. Oh, and there's items that you need to gather materials. That is a very huge difference, actually. I don't... Holy shit, is that an ogre? Yeah. Cyclops. Okay, how do I climb its eyeball? Because this was the cool part of the game, is you would climb on the enemy to then fight the monster and, like, hit him by stabbing his eye. And actually, I did notice this. There's no mechanic where you get to, like, what? Where you get to, gather materials by hitting monsters in certain places. That was the other thing that I thought was very innovative about Dragon's Dogma 1 that they kept within Dragon's Dogma 2. That was very Monster Hunter-like. But I also can't tell if that's because I'm playing it wrong. Like, maybe you can do it for those Cyclops. I don't know how to grab though. Well, I should check actually is the game config. Those guys are probably bandits. Are you a bandit? Or are you mad at me? Oh shit, you're a rogue mage. Stop. Stop. Okay, one more fighter and I finish my quest. But I need to kill the mages first. I remember this being the most complex part of this game, was dealing with these parties. Which again, you really don't really find in other games. Like, it's pretty rare for you to play a game where you need to think about how you would approach the enemy's party to be able to effectively fight them. Except for auto battlers and other such strategy style games. I mean, barring the goblins and stuff, which are fairly basic. Dragon's Dogma is one of those few games where I need to think about who I'm going to target first. And for the most part, you can kind of brute force your way through, and you can eventually, once you get strong enough, but... It's nice to see this, especially from an MMO. Again, from an MMO design standpoint, this feels way ahead of its peers, even though it's dead now. It's an old MMO that feels way ahead of its time, even today, within the space of the MMO. Very cool. Skeleton Knights, you don't seem very right. I don't know if I should be fighting you. You are not the enemy. The Skeleton Mage? Oh shit, the sorcerer. Okay. Small cave tombs. I don't know what the fuck these wolves are. I'm gonna go back to the quest board. I need to see, like, there's a guide that I could follow. But I think it is fun to just explore the game and play it as it was intended to be played. Because I'm assuming these quests don't really tell you much anyways about what you would get. Like, the ability to gain a pawn in something. At least as far as I can tell, the UI is mostly the same. Because it's all the files are there, right? So they probably don't even tell you how you would get a pawn. You just have to figure it out by playing the quest until you eventually get some pawn. Which, to me, is the one flaw of this game. Because in Dragon's Dogma, you start with your pawn, which I think is the best choice. And even Dragon's Dogma 1 had the best intro to the pawn. Because you start out as a higher level character in that whole sequence of the first guy who eventually became the, you know what I mean, and then ran away from his responsibilities. And then it gives you an intro into the pawn system. And at least to me, it's like the first audience for this game is a Dragon's Dogma player. So if you don't start with a pawn, it's sort of like, okay, well, what's the point? I could at least see that being something where it's like, I don't know why I need a quest to eventually get my pawn. Again, I'm criticizing a game that's no longer alive, so this is not. But just trying to make sense of it disappearing. It's like all I can try to do is try to understand these decisions and hope that I get to some conclusion that feels satisfying as to why it died, other than it wasn't popular. Because like again, it's mind blowing that this game wouldn't be popular. What the hell is that? Why are there so many goblins? You would think the lands would be covered with more monsters than just goblins. And you know what? If I'm playing solo, maybe I change my class. It's like how I was playing Dragon's Dogma 1 and I insisted on being a mage sorcerer. And I recall very, very acutely this feeling of magic is busted because you do way more damage, but it's also so boring because well, not boring, but it is like a slower paced gameplay where you need to wait there to slowly build your skills out and like cast time things, right? You registered. You're now enrolled in the human urinal. I'm so sorry. But welcome. But I think playing this solo, I think it's worth it to go for like a sorcerer build or something. Just to see what it feels like, because I'm also curious what the druid thing, the class feels like. Let's see, game config. How do I? The reason you might not know why goblins are everywhere and stuff is that you have like a 6-year-old translation. Since you can still see the item numbers in my chat window. Oh, like there's a lore reason for it. Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, well, the setup instructions seem very straightforward to me. But I may have missed something that would get me like a newer translation. I have to hit the update translation button. Oh. Oops. Okay, well, you know what? This just goes to show that like no one person has all the answers. What is this button? Is that the button? No, that's a mod file. Oh, install translation patch. Thank you so much. I usually, okay, to be fair, whenever I see a small button like that, I always think to myself, it's like a support button. It's like the button that you click on to get to contact the support team. But I'm like, this is like a small modded community, so. But this is gonna make sense to me now. Okay, this is gonna help. Thank you. Maybe we can actually watch the cutscene. Yeah, the new launch will have notifications for it and stuff. The first one we made is a bit of a fat job. I see you're one of the developers. Hey, you know what? I was just talking about how mind blowing it is that you would be able to go through this level of effort just for the love of the game. Honestly, kudos and thank you, because I've never experienced this game. I've only heard things about it. So the fact that you did this allows me to be able to like try the game out and see what it was supposed to be like. Oh, this is gonna take a while. I didn't realize this was gonna take a while. Just give it a moment. But yeah, so far it's actually very fun. Again, I'm surprised. Like I'm trying to rack my brain around why it died, because it feels like if it died because it wasn't popular, I don't really understand why. Because it is a fun game. It's just Dragon's Dogma but online. I remember when I was playing Dragon's Dogma 1 and I was like, oh, I can't wait to, play the online version. And then, chat told me that it was dead. And I was like, oh shit, okay, well, it seems like the right kind of game for an online MMO style. And the fact that it still spawns at some point somewhere, although the guide, I need to find the guide again. It's entirely because it was JP only, in your opinion. It would have done so much better in the West. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, because I've also heard from my other chat members that Dragon's Dogma 1 got really popular within the West, but not so much within Japan, which is fascinating to me. But at the same time, I get why they made it JP only. I think at the time, because this was like 2015, I think, right? Or like 2015, 2019. No, 2019 is when it shut down. 2015 or something was when it launched. Even at that time, like a lot of Japanese games were just not ported. Like for some reason, Japanese game companies did not want to port any games. Like of the handful that we got, I'm surprised that we even got Final Fantasy, right? But what was interesting though is that Capcom as a whole is used to porting games, even by that point, because Resident Evil was a huge thing within the West. So I'm surprised that they didn't bother to bring this over, but maybe there was just some complications. But hey, that's why we have the free mod community. It's crazy because it's like, if it works so well now, and then people with the love of the game are doing it now, it just sort of makes you wonder what it could have been, right? Because it's so good as it is that it makes you sort of go, well, it could have been so much more had there been real official support, which is not to say that it's any better or worse, just that there's a lot of money behind Capcom. And if they just put their full thrust into it, imagine how far it could have gone. Again, great project. If you're one of the devs, thank you. This is a really cool project. I'm just sad that died. I also heard that they pitched the game before they died, called Deep Skin, I think. And there's a whole trailer for it. And apparently that one, they spent a lot of money on that Deep Skin game, and they didn't really get any interest into it, and so they weren't able to continue on with things. They also shot themselves in the foot, really, making this hard to port in general. All the UIs and stuff are only set up for Japanese. That's why you'll see some lines in the augment equipping overlapping. Oh, as in like it's fully hard. Oh, I'm assuming you mean like it's hard-coded, and it's not like a localized translation. It's not referring to some like localization file with some information in there. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Also, maybe I can know what to do now in these quests, because I actually don't know where to find these wolves. Oh my god, this quest lines, oh my god. Wait, this doesn't tell me anything. It's just like Dragon's Dogma. It's just like Dragon's Dogma. Even if you have translations, it doesn't tell you anything, because this is how the game is. It doesn't tell you where the wolves are, only that the wolves are killing people. So the Japanese is a very dense language where a single word can be one symbol instead of 1 to 20 in English. Oh, I see what you mean. And okay, now it makes sense what you mean by the overlapping, as in there's just not enough space for anything. That makes sense. Yeah, because then you'd have to make it either scrollable, or you'd have to find some way to reword it as a translator, both of which are not very simple to do. That makes sense. Best information, I don't know. So I just joined. Wow, there's actually, yeah, I can actually read things now. This is great. Thank you. I should have clicked the button sooner. I feel like I missed out on a lot by not clicking that one button. Tusk Toss. Get? Sure. Yeah, they shorten skill names a lot. We have to make sure every single line's below 50 symbols and so on. Damn. Because translating it already is a very complex task of, you know, having to find a way to say the same thing in a different language that may not even have the words. But then the fact that you have to also care about the length of it, you can't be too wordy. It reminds you of how like localizers for anime, they have to fit it within the portion where the character's mouth is talking. So they have to write it perfectly, but like some things are so dense that you can't. It's the same problem, just instead of like a character's mouth moving, it's like a text box. That's a very interesting problem. What? Okay, I can actually know what this is. Hold yourself to press position and toss nearby allies into the air. Okay, so now I know what that is. Counter. I have no JP. Maybe I should have gotten counter. Increase the knockout power of perfect blocks. There's a perfect block. What? Increases the stamina consumed when you grab a hold. How do you... Okay, maybe I can actually check the grab a hold button now. Oh, perfect. Well, the game is open so much. Key config. Oh. You changed my world. You don't understand. I've been trying to figure out how to grab people for so long. It is E. So how come I can't grab people? Or is it... Can they grab you? I'm going to assume they don't allow you to just grab NPCs. Yeah. To be fair, it's like when you translate something to an MMO, you do have to give up some features. Like you can't just do what Dragon's Dogma 1 did, where you just pick up any NPC and throw them inside the water, right? Because imagine like a key quest giver is now killed by your players. But I thought the enemies would work the same unless I misremembered. Maybe I need to down them first and then I pick them up. But we'll see as we get back out there. And I'm gonna stick with the warrior now that I know what to do. Yeah, it's interesting to sort of see this process of how difficult it would have been to translate it over from the developers of this version of the game, where it's like a fan-made one. Because it's the kind of... I imagine it's the same kind of insight that the official team would have had too, where the official team would have also had those same concerns, and they would have said this is going to take time and effort. Really, I mean, it just goes to show that there's... In many ways, there's almost no difference between like a fan-made effort and like an official effort. It's all sort of the same thing in terms of complexity, right? It's like whether you reverse engineer a server or you're making it from like scratch, you have to deal with the same problems. You also give a fair warning, some of the early game translations are back from in the 2010s, so it's a bit rough. We focus on translating more of the game before going back to fix the stuff that's already in English. Please excuse. No worries. I mean, especially with stuff like this, I think it's sort of expected in many ways. I think for many people who play this stuff that it's a best case effort, right? Like no one's ever expecting perfection because this is a volunteer effort done for the love of the game. And so no one, at least I hope so, but at least in my mind, I always view this stuff as you get what you get, and people are trying their best, but they don't have the backing of like a multi-million-dollar corporation. And Capcom makes a lot of money, and none of that money is for you. So I'm sure people are understanding. And if they're not, then it's like you can kind of ignore them. You remember that in this one game in Japanese, they had full phrases for dialogue choices, but for English translation, they just had to shorten them to give a gist of what is going to be said. You know what's funny is that you say that, I forgot that this game had climbing. You say that for like a Japanese game, right? But you ever played like The Witcher or Mass Effect, and you see the choices, and it's like anger, or frustration, or something, or like don't do that, and then the character breaks out into a longer term dialogue. It's funny because I feel like most games just sort of trend towards that, where why rewrite the entire script into a little dialogue box, and you have to get the player to like click on the dialogue box and read it when they're going to hear it anyways. At some point, it's like, is it worth the effort? Not really. You've been grinding away for it for 2 years, and you still only like 70% has been done. And yeah, done when we all have time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Luckily, the more the game has gotten popular, the more volunteers you've gotten. You're always recruiting. Hey, chat. There's a chat member here who apparently knows Japanese. There's actually 2 of them. One is fluent in Japanese to some degree, I think, because they were playing one game and they read it perfectly, and I was like, oh shit. But at the same time, it's like, how do I know what's a perfect reading of Japanese when I don't know the language? All of you could be lying to me. Like, I don't know. All of you could be lying to me about how fluent you really are. I'm dying. Maybe I should have switched. Maybe I should have switched. Maybe I'm not that good. I'm not that good at the game. Uh-oh. How do I do this again? Alt? Okay. There we go. Yeah, pretty much. It's usually like that. Yeah, it's... I mean, to be fair, it's like... do you really want to? You can barely read it. Oh, yeah? Then how come every time every time you would drop some new Japanese lore, huh? But yeah, that's... Because I only heard about this project recently, so to know that you've been grinding it for 2 years. Like, how long has this project been going? Because the game shut down in 2019. 6 years ago, roughly, right? When did this effort start? Because that just goes to show how much material there is that you need to do. Because there's so many different parts into making a game, right? But then you have to do it while you're also reverse engineering things. That's a lot of effort that you have to put in, and it's all volunteer time. Like, that's... For the love of the game, that's amazing. God, my character is so ugly. The voice of my character, the way they sound as they grunt and they walk around, it's so nasty. 2020, multiplayer working in 2023. Oh! Questing in April last year, pawns in January. So this is all fresh then. This is all fresh. Wait, so then is me not having a pawn the consequence of it being early? Or is it just because the game was set up like that? Because, again, I have no context with this game. So it's fascinating to sort of see it from the perspective of somebody who has played the game. It's just how it is. Okay, that's actually very interesting. Because I was mentioning how it's weird that the game would give you a pawn later. When Dragon's Dogma, it's sort of like, one of the draws of the game is the pawn system and the interesting... Or like the more complex way that you go about the world, as well as the ability to like grab onto things during combat, right? Because the first game and the second game start you out immediately with your pawn. Or with a pawn, and then you get to make your own eventually. So to know that it took time to like get there in the online versions, it's a fascinating design choice. Especially when I would have imagined that most of the player base would be like a Dragon's Dogma player. I'm going to assume green means my quest objective. But also, that's impressive how long it took and how much effort there is. Because I'm also surprised that the game itself wasn't multiplayer until 2023. Which for an MMO, it's interesting because... Well, I mean, I guess, no, it makes sense. Well, because what I was thinking of, like, how do you play this game in single player? But if you just have the game logic but no networking, then it would still work. So yeah, I can see it. I need to kill 3 of you, actually. Sorry. My character sounds so ugly. Okay, there we go. Stop blocking, please. I can't do a perfect block, or maybe it's just like the first game, where once you get hit, you get stun locked. Which I think it is that. I will say the second game, like the Dragon's Dogma 2, what little we've played of it, has been a lot more lenient with the combat. It's been a lot more fun, but also limited because of your options. You have less skills. There we go. Guard break into knockup. There we go. Oh, we're done. Oh my god, the quest is over. Yes. Protection of the Travelers. Also, is the guy on YouTube, is there... I think the name is Zool, right? Are they a part of the like dev team? Can you tell them that their videos are fucking funny? It's... I come from a time when you wouldn't want to use that language, but like... Or like, I come from a time when that language was like very, very common, and so it's like when like people say that stuff, oh, he's just an old live player, damn. Because I was gonna say, like the things that he says, he has really good comedic timing, even if it is a little offensive. It's pretty good. Since there's hundreds of arisen, there's kind of pawns everywhere that you won't really notice unless you look at their hands. Oh yeah, that'd also be why there are 3 naked ladies in every village. What? There's supposed to be random pawns, since you didn't have custom pawns until last year. There's like 1,000 of the generic ones everyone got before that in the database. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because no one's had time to populate them. So, okay, that actually makes sense. Yeah, because it's... I was wondering why there's so many NPCs that seem to just say nothing to me, or like don't really do anything with me. Especially in the town of Tell. I was surprised that there were so many NPCs that did nothing, similar to like, say, Final Fantasy 14. But it makes sense if they're all just pawns of other players, that's a pretty cool feature actually, that you would see other players' pawns in the MMO populating your world. Do you know whether the original game had, like, was the original game an open share of the world instance, like a fully open world in that sense? Because to me, I can't imagine seeing like a million other players while you're trying to go through this very Dragon's Dogma-esque world, trying to kill these like wolves and stuff. It's a party leader instance. Okay. So now it's all, now the image of what the game was is starting to come together in my mind. Thank you. That's actually very handy to know. Yeah, because I was very curious about what this was supposed to feel like originally. Rewards received. What? The slumbering god? Uh-huh. Oh, what? Why do I have this? Scimitar? They had plans for Season 4 to implement an open world system. You're hoping you can figure that out as an opt-in system sometime. Good luck. Because it does sound complicated. But also, that is pretty cool that they were thinking about it at some point. Oh yeah, quest rewards show up in your chest and they don't clog your inventory out in the world. Is that... I'm assuming that's like a built-in choice inside the game and not something that like the team has made. Because that is an interesting choice, to say the least. Now, how come these shorts? How come I have no clothing on? Yeah, that's from Vanilla. Yeah, that's a very interesting choice. I started to realize that this game is a very interesting game. Like, there's a lot of different choices in it that you wouldn't really expect from this game. I'm starting to understand the like various quirks, but at the same time, it's endearing because like Dragon's Dogma was the quirky game. I feel like that entire game was just full of quirks. I don't know the hotkeys. I'm going to assume I can do this into this. And then I don't know how to equip things. I'm assuming I can just... Please select the equipment. Okay, here we go. Nice. I have 2 more armor. I'm going to change my class. Special quest for it. I don't think this class is good. I need to get more revives too, I think. I think this one? Oh, I know what you're saying now. I've also heard that, yeah, these are available. You can just buy them. Though, how do you get BP again? Login stamp. I was surprised about this, actually. I was surprised that the server had this feature available. The, like, login stamp system. Like, that system always... Because you see it within, like, classic MMOs to encourage you to log in, to pay more money to play the game, right? But for a private server, it's like... It feels almost counter where it's like maybe you don't want that many players because then you're gonna start to pay more in the server hosting costs. Hello, Fabio. Nice. Yes, got some instincts. I can actually know what you're saying now. This is great. Bottom line, tackling void quests the basic way. Yep. You don't bite up more than you chew. One thing, you should limit how much you can carry. Yep. There's what things are in front of you. Storage box handy. Yep. Change your equipment. Okay. You probably got them ready. You got some useful items. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. Check the story, but you find simply ones looking low. It's better. Okay. Okay. First, go to the online shop. This is an MMO. They had to make money somehow in the original one. This feature is not implemented yet. There you go. You get the present, save the sound. This one is a important thing. Okay, it's a useful thing. There's a lot of things on the show. That's it. Except for the basics. Now then, what do I say about the matters? Okay, the Risen. Oh yeah, with the White Dragon. I wish I knew about the translation before I tossed the White Dragon. All I know is that there's a White Dragon. As long as I push a look, you could live forever. Nonetheless, it's only possible because of the White Dragon. The dragon and her kind were mutually dependent. I'm actually kind of curious where the storyline falls in like the canon of the games, because Dragon's Dogma 2 seems like story-wise it's going a whole different way, but it's using the same underlying concepts of the dragons. And I wonder where this falls. I'm assuming this is in between, but us and the White Dragon being tied to each other is fascinating. Well, okay, so I am an Arisen. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it just skips that step since you don't have it. Yeah, it's fair. Hello. I would like to... The High Scepter's heir. What? Investigate the figure carrying a mysterious item. Unlock content. Change the High Scepter. You unlock classes? That's sick. I have a message for you. Craig from the craft room. Wow. Fighter tactics. In order to learn the basics of the tactics of fight, challenge the trial at the training chapel. This is amazing. I didn't know that, because the Dragon's Dogma, the game, the single player game, has you unlocking classes too, I think. At least as far as I can remember, but I can't recall what the steps were. Dragon's Dogma 2 has it to some degree as well by doing certain quest lines, right? I didn't think the MMO would have it too, because again, it's like a very... This is like a very un-MMO MMO game. But it works well. There's a view the intro cutscene button on the main menu. Unsure if it has a really old translation had that done or not. Oh. Well, the old one didn't have that. But it's good to know because I do want to actually check that out. Because I did not... no, not old select. Is there... How do I assume... Here we go. It didn't... The old translations didn't do it. But maybe this will give some context. The great order of the world is far more fragile than we believe it to be. Okay, well, I'm not going to read this. Just read it in your head. Everyone can read it on their own time. The ambitions of one man have changed the state of a whole world. Oh. In the ancient document we found at Dinan. Wow, it's just like an anime.
白龍の翼のもと、人々は生まれ、働き、笑った。
Anime pod.
竜への崇敬と感謝が文明を育み、人の英知は生と死の断りすら乗り越えようとしていた。しかし323年前、どこからともなく現れた黄金色の竜が大いなる白龍に戦いを挑んだ。戦いは3日3晩続き、誰もがその様子に固唾を飲んだ。4日目の日の出前だった。祈りが通じたのだろうか。白龍の通撃が黄金の胸を貫き、まばゆい翼は光を失い落ちた。人々は胸をなで下ろしたが、白龍も深手を負い、そして落ちた。神戸を上げ、再び天空に登ろうとしたが、叶わず。 人々は傷ついた白龍の周囲に集い祈った。やがて白龍は弱々しい声で言った。
お前たちを各者にしてやろう。その代わりに私を守ってくれ。まだ消えるわけにはいかない。レスタニアを愛する者たちよ、固き砦となり私を守ってくれ。秩序をなくしたこの地を断りのうちに押し戻す。
I love the various archetypes of Japanese voice acting. The various archetypical voice actor, I guess, like tones and like ways of speaking and the ways that they sound, they always have the old wizened general voice that we just heard from the like dragon. It sounds so cool. Okay, that actually explains a lot. I'm surprised that, you know, there's no channels dedicated to this stuff. Like, you know how this channel is dedicated to pouring over every single lore detail of like Sekiro or like some From Software game? I always wondered how come there's none of that for like a Dragon's Dogma game, because I feel like it's just as interesting in its own ways, right? Obviously, you know, it feels like it's disconnected from the lore of the first game in the sense that it's not the same motivations, but it's the same underpinning of the story concepts of like there's dragons and then there's the bonds that they can form with like people. Maybe bonds is probably the worst way to say it, because it's like I bond with my dog, but the dragon is staring at me the same way that I look at like a dog, right? But that's kind of cool and interesting. Hear what Craig has to say. Oh. Also, one thing I did notice, this game is much more lenient on fall damage. I remember dying to fall damage very often within Dragon's Dogma 1. Granted, that's sort of more on my part, because you shouldn't jump off of buildings, but, you know. Do you have a weapon? Bye. Auction house. It is. It's just too bad too much stuff is only in Japanese. Like the Dark Arisen part, the DD1 design doc, was only released in Japan, and you've not managed to find a copy of it. I didn't even know that they would release a design doc for the game. Because, yeah, it's always fun reading that stuff, especially to get to know the process behind how to get there. I think I saw a video detailing kind of what it was. Was it the one where there's like an image of that section where they wanted to go to the moon or something? I think that was it. But yeah, it's sad to know that like copies of this stuff are just gone forever, and we may never see it now, especially because like, you know, Itsuno is no longer a part of the studio itself. Yeah, the moon was a part of it. You highly recommended it. It had some cool stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try. I mean, I would love to see it because it does sound cool. Alright, let me hear your story. Which weapons power do you want to bring up? The high set was air, sure. The Renton, sure. Okay, you have it on the way back to the White Dragon Castle. Small cave tomb, small weapon. You couldn't tell it was just a human. People will probably think that you're weird and that unknown weapon. Yes, I'll investigate. Alright, let me hear your story. Custom made weapons, search is realm. What about the custom made arms workshop weapons? Correct blade. This guy is a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Hey kid, you hear about these custom weapons? I'll give you my favorite one. It's called the Craig Blade. My name? Don't worry about it. What, is that what it was in the original translation? Or is that just a funny joke that you guys did? Because that's pretty good. Yeah, just seeing all of this, man, it really makes me wish for a world where this was still out there, you know? What a cool game. And honestly, even just like this, I can see this being so fun to play. And again, it feels so different from any other MMO. I find myself really... This is not because Final Fantasy XIV is bad or WoW is bad. It's just... I find myself feeling a great difficulty in engaging with it. Specifically in the gameplay. It's a really slow-paced game to me. Even if there's elements that make it faster. Like, you play a Brewmaster way faster than, say, like a classic mage, right? But painful. This was Japan only, apparently, yeah. Shut down 2019. My friends only played it over VPN, and they only had good things to say about it. and they only told me about it after it shut down while I was playing Dragon's Dogma 1. Which, granted, it took me like 20 years to play it, so, you know, I don't really blame them, but still, kind of wish I got like a heads up. I did small K tubes and standing for Craig. Ah, yeah, those custom workshop quests are S3 ones, so not done yet. Ah, I see. You finished writing them 3 days ago, just haven't merged them into the translation yet. Damn. You guys work fast. Oh my god. That's also why you get a lot of XP from those for a level 1, so you're saying I should do them. There's a quest target here. It's a wolf! Oh my god, finally! It's a wolf! You're the first wolf I've seen in the last, like, hour. Yes! Okay, only 2 more to go. I'll find them eventually. You know what? Maybe I do know why this game died. You know what I mean? It is... There's... I said this before last time too, where I don't have the patience to go through certain games anymore. The modern gaming landscape has made me incredibly impatient. And so when the game doesn't have a marker towards like a wolf or something, I'm like, God, this really feels pretty hard. It's only when you play it that you realize it's a superior way to play games. Like Dragon's Dogma 1 took me a moment to get used to it, but when I did, it's what I preferred. But it really, thank God that didn't hit me. It really does take a while to get used to. The high step is a level 15 though, so I might get extremely rocked. Yeah, there's nothing that matches the exponential. Nothing. Even honestly, like even playing games that are built around like exploratory RPG mechanics, it still doesn't feel the same. There's just no blend of this particular action combat plus exploration. And like the only thing that you really get that's close to it is Dragon's Dogma 2, which is the sequel. But that has its own changes to it too, right? Like it has a very different system. But even there, I feel like even with the changes, it still has that same feel. It's only this series that seems to capture this particular feeling of you're in this world that you don't know and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. It's pretty cool. DDON is cool because there's a mechanic called area rank. So the more you adventure in an area... I'm sorry, I have to sneeze. Okay, I found the meat button. the more stuff that will change. Bridges rebuilt, new powerful monsters and quests, so on. That's cool. Yeah, because that mirrors a lot of what the single player game does. Because in the single player game, I swear you could do the same thing where you open up different passageways and stuff, right? That's a pretty cool way of handling that with the area rank. And again, totally unseen. Like I don't think I've ever heard of another MMO having this, or just in general another game where it's that. Well, I mean games for sure, but like just another MMO. Like the route that you take within games like WoW and Final Fantasy 14, it's all the same route always. Like there's no real differentiation. Not to say that's bad, but when you taste this, you can't help but crave this. Craig, oh no. You want me to kill these things too? You want me to kill the level 10 undead, Craig? I don't think I'm made for this. Whee! I should have maybe switched my whole... I maybe should have gone to become an archer or something. I did say I would. Okay, you know what? We'll come back later. Yeah, this is a good time to try out new classes. I know struggling is the point of a game like this. Like, I know, like, the struggle is a point of the Dragon's Dogma formula. But I don't have that much time. So I'm hoping to shortcut it with, like, a bow or something. Or, like, magic. Because magic was broken within the single-player game. You did do, like, 5 times your level's worth of damage or something. Or, like, 5 above or something. Like, it felt like you were way stronger than you should be. But I'm hoping it's the same thing. Because this guy is kind of strong. Yeah. There's a tiny little training room next to the guy you change job at if you want to see. Oh, okay. So there's like a training room. Okay. Oh, also, I don't know. So I saw that this game has a class similar to Dragon's Dogma 2, like the one where you spin around the like mystic thing, the like smoker. At least visually, it seemed like it looked the same. Was that always there, or like have you guys been able to add custom classes, or was the online just more full of content compared to the single player? Which is, I mean, it is, but it's like I'm just curious how much it differed from like the vanilla game and how much you guys have added in terms of like changes from the vanilla game. I love the goblin voices. There's just something funny about it. I think I played Dragon's Dogma 1 all in Japanese too, right? What language did we use when we played it? No, we didn't. No. We played it in English. Actually, it's funny that this game didn't get a Western port too, because apparently Dragon's Dogma 1, maybe I'm misremembering for a different game, but I remember we had this discussion where I tried to figure out why the English sounded so good, and it was because the game was like localized for English first, and then it was sort of done for everything else. Because I distinctly remember playing Dragon's Dogma 1, and the language that they use and the way that they say things in that old English was surprisingly very complex. Like, to the point where I wouldn't even think of it as a localization. And because it didn't sound like Final Fantasy Tactics localization stuff. It sounded like this is just somebody in their, like, acting class during old, you know, Shakespearean acting and, like, writing these lines raw. Each the private service can implement their own custom content. But as for the dev project, you aim at sticking close to vanilla. Thank you. That's actually that's a nice goal. You don't think anyone has managed to make any new classes or skills unless they're keeping it real secret. That makes sense, yeah. Now, here we go. Time to try out some new classes. So that's actually pretty cool then, that class was a part of the online game, and then they just brought it over to the Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm assuming. And even the spirit class. I know that there's a spirit wielding class within Dragon's Dogma 2 that I never got, but cool that they brought it over. Magic Gauntlet. Let's try this. Tutorial basics. Your augments have been reset, thanks. What do you feel like? So, training room. Aha! The alchemist the mage uses offensive attacks with synthesized materials. By accumulating stakes, they can draw stronger attention. It's excellent mobility and evasion. Huh. Alas, you're not sure which one you think would be close to the DD2 Sense class. You don't really have it. Well, sorry. It was only the visuals. It was the visuals of this class. I just saw the visuals of this class plus the Spirit class, and I was like, oh, those look very similar to the DD2 classes. I'm assuming the Spear one probably plays somewhat similar, but like this one, I'm realizing with the fist weapon, it probably doesn't play the same at all. Yeah, this is not even close to the same. What is this? This is crazy. So, alchemy. That's sick. This is what every scientist wants to feel like. Like, I have friends who are scientists, and they really want to feel like they can do stuff like this. But it doesn't work, man. Tank? I don't know. It feels like it doesn't feel like a tank. Although I guess I don't know how many tanks there are in this game, or if there is a tank. It feels like more of a DPS that just has a lot of different support skills that you can use. Because I'm assuming Torpor Elixir would slow someone. So if I go over here, bonus dungeon lobby. Luckily, it's like 14. Blue tank, green healer, red DPS. Okay, so you know, at least as a shorthand, what these classes should play like based on that. XP? Are you sure when I consume the following items? I have no items. This is a strange place for a bonus dungeon. Because, like, I don't know how often people play games that have training rooms, but even in Monster Hunter, I never go inside the training room. So the hide of bonus dungeon place instead of a training room feels almost evil. Like, you don't want people to know about it. This is kind of cool, though. I imagine the elixir probably slows people. Actually, I should read the skills. So F is elixir. Okay, let's see. You can tell me about my skills. Yes. Skills. Here we go. Alma Pillar. Drives fists in the ground, creating encircling alchemical pillars. Power increases when used from heights. That's... Why did this game die? Why did this game die? I don't get it. You don't have classes like this anywhere else. You don't have mechanics like verticality in like other games. Why did this game die? It was too sick to survive. That's good. Swaps the currently equipped elixir. Depending on the elixir, the status abnormality will change, so it is an abnormality. Precisely timed skill activation blocks enemy attacks, applying alchemical substance to them. Jump just as an enemy attacks, activate a skill with perfect timing. Use the elixir's hidden potential. Create a massive alchemical substance that propels you backwards. That's pretty cool. Yeah, honestly, it really does feel like this game was too sick to survive, because it's you don't see a class like this. You don't see gameplay that requires verticality and picking people up and throwing people around. This is so I'm so sad. Come. Why is it? Oh, because it shortens to my first name. I mean, my first name Come. Sorry, I was like, what? Okay, so this is okay. So same as thing. So green is healer. I mean, a healer with a spear sounds kind of sick. If they can somehow manage to make a healer feel fun to play, then again, I don't know why this game died. Thrust, stab, temporarily enhance attack skills, scathe move, duck and avoid. This is so cool, man. What? Yeah, this is too this is too powerful. My headcanon now is that there was like a global conspiracy to try to stop this game from spreading, because they knew the global productivity would fall. It's similar to how, like, when a World of Warcraft patch drops, right? Everybody, it doesn't matter who in your company is and like what role they are. Everyone from C level down takes a break, and you see like the entire section of your team, more so in IT. Everybody has to take sick leave. Exactly. Like suddenly someone has sick leave, and it's like top to bottom. There's like a whole vertical slice missing. Like your CEO's at home, and so is your like half your IT team. They had to stop it. God, this is sick. You can scathe move to. This is a support class. Heal boost. No spirits. Well, I don't know how to get spirits, man. An aid is like this. This would be so sick to play. I kind of wish I didn't know about this. You know what I mean? Because then I could go my whole life never feeling disappointed by everything that I play. It's like when you play a really good game and then you play other games and then you will go, man, there's something missing from this. Because once you feel a peak, it's kind of hard to go back. Great sword. There we go. Endurance pain deliver even greater damage. See what this thing feels like. That's kind of why you joined the project. You were feeling so bad after the game died. I can imagine that. Yeah, because like what else do you do to get the same feeling, right? And making a game from scratch is like really hard. So it's like you might as well start from a baseline. And if your baseline is this, it's like this is amazing. Savage Lash. Okay, I'm assuming this is the same thing with as the other warrior. Yep. Bracing, I'm assuming, is to counter things. Drugs. Why did you say drugs? Oh, because of the feeling? Listen, it's... Some things really do feel like drugs. Games can feel very addictive. Especially when you play a game that has no other comparison. It's hard to... Like, I still sometimes wish Shadow of the Colossus had other copycats in some way. And then people say, like, oh yeah, Monster Hunter is kind of like it. It's like, it's not really, man. It's close, but it's like a different feeling. Like, sometimes you just want that feeling again. An element archer is a healer. That's interesting. Or like a support. Maybe we should just read the skills. Why test when I can read? Fourfold bolt. Change stance. Seeker arrow can be activated while in the air. Magic eye seeker aim to lock on enemies charging in case with more targets locked. Oh, this is the bow where you lock on and it shoots things. I remember this from Dragon's Dogma 1. Yeah, fire the true aid arrow to target the ally and heal their wounds. Hold the magical forward and create true aid arrows. Base the magical towards an ally and capture them within sight. So when allies are target the hydra rate. Right. Okay. Well, I didn't really like this within the first game, so we're gonna skip this. I just have daggers. Okay, what does magic feel like? I wonder if they kept the same magic system, because even the magic system felt very, very strangely different. It had the same cast time as other MMOs, but it's the way that you executed it and with the gameplay framework that made it feel fresh. Because within like a tab targeting one, it's kind of hard to be interrupted because one person holds aggro the entire time. Whereas in this game, there's so many different enemy archetypes and they have different skills that you had to be careful of, like, okay, well, who can target you? Because usually the rogue would be going after you. Again, it's just gameplay. You just don't find anywhere else. After charging a magic, release a breath-like flame in front of you. There's no group chanting in the MMO, sadly. You imagine it to be horrible to balance, so not everyone is just running around with force smokes and meteoring everyone. That is true. When I found out, so what's funny is, I found out about the group chanting when I got to the end of Dragon's Dogma 1. Because up until that point, I had committed to playing blind, right? I had no clue about how the game played. And the game has no tutorials. The game has no tutorials for anything, so you just have to figure things out. I didn't even know that you and your pawn sorcerers could combine together to cast spells. But when I started using it, I remember that the game broke apart, because everything became that much easier. Chanting. Chanting? Okay. What the fuck? That's sick. This is even better than the first game, because you have something to do while you're casting. Within the first game, honestly, casting spells was kind of boring, because you just kind of sat there, and you would watch an enemy walk towards you. And they were kind of far, but at some point, like, when they got to the danger zone, you were kind of wondering, okay, will they do like a blink strike on me? Like, what's gonna happen? Here, you can forget about all your problems by doing a mini Osu game. I feel like more games should have this. You keep pulling down the cats when you can keep doing them, and oh, I can just keep on doing it. I can just keep on charging it. This is a game in and of itself. Dragon's Dogma has some good, catchy soundtracks. Does this one have the same? Yeah, I was gonna mention that actually, because Dragon's Dogma 1, the other thing that really stuck out to me, especially the first town, the music that you heard within the first town, when you walked out of the house for the first time, I was very impressed by what it sounded like, because I was like, damn, this feels nice. It was I don't know how to explain the song, but it was just such a fascinating song. This game also has that? Oh, good. That's perfect, though. Man, this is sick. That's kind of like the thing that's missing from Dragon's Dogma 2. Was a little bit of that feeling. Like, it started to go much more generic fantasy. Which I was kind of, like, sad about. Not to say that the game didn't have generic fantasy moments, but I felt like it had a certain bend to it that was very Dragon's Dogma-like. Almost like a fantasy English-style realm. Dragon's Dogma 2 felt just much more generic fantasy. But I also, you know, I do love that game. It's just, maybe it's somewhat tainted by the fact that I played Dragon's Dogma 1 first. If I played Dragon's Dogma 2, maybe I wouldn't have noticed it. Biting Wind. Okay, this is going to assume the exact, well, roughly the same. Yep, just a lot of damage. Scarlet Kisses. Throw a Seeker Rope. This is that shit. Hold Shift and press R. Linking Throw. I'm not in multiplayer. I'm assuming that would work with my pawn too. Hold the Seeker Rope and take aim. I wonder if you can use this rope for other things. Yeah, DD has always felt very easily tied to Berserk and the early Dungeons and the Dragons. Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. Like the early PC fantasy games. Yeah, exactly. Ultima, even like just that strange setting where it's like very, very almost like English inspired, but like very like British English sort of like folklore inspired. Like there was something about it that like felt like it skewed more towards that than a generic fantasy. Not to say that like Lord of the Rings is generic fantasy, but like it sort of like sets the benchmark for what that fantasy line is, and so it's sort of become like before Lord of the Rings there was no Lord of the Rings, but now that there is Lord of the Rings, like a lot of things can feel like generic fantasy Lord of the Rings. What's the rope? And if I R, God, that's what that guy was doing to me. Yeah, orcs, etc. Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted, this also has orcs, but it's like it was just different the way that they did things. It just felt like it felt like the goblins here were slightly different goblins. It wasn't the same goblin. Ooh. Honestly, for my character's size, this feels like the right fit. I feel like I feel like I'm a Naruto character. The whole show is just children being put to war, and I look like a child, so this actually fits very, very well. But I want a bit more. I don't know. I didn't really like the rogue within the first game either. It felt very like spammy. I wanted more, not thought. This is gonna be like, okay, well, like it's like some jobs need like certain skill versus others, but I don't know. It's like I didn't like the gameplay style. But I'm also like a slower person anyways, where I enjoy slower paced gameplay. I could have said that differently. Shield Sage. This is completely new. I don't remember this being in Dragon's Dogma 1 either. Seeker is one of the sicker jobs in your opinion. Yeah, it looks cool as heck. Yeah, I really liked making my pawn a Seeker. Not me though. I liked being in the back watching them. I like to take my time and slowly cast a spell and watch my pawn get rocked by some Cyclops, and let my pawn deal with the climbing, because the camera was for the camera was pretty bad. But what the fuck is this? Attract what? Change element. Yo, it's cool, but your brain is too old for it. Exactly, that's what it is. Okay, so I can do shield blow. This is what every tank player wants to imagine that they can do, you know? But tanking is also like healing. It can be a little bored. What is this? That's some sad magic. That's some sad magic. And this would... Wow, that's a really nice looking effect. I'm assuming this is your taunt button, as it normally is, and you would change your element. I'm assuming you would build up element when you block things, and then you would be able to use your spells like Force Burst and Force in the enchantment. That's a pretty... even though it's the same archetypes of characters, this game actually feels like it has a lot of thought behind how you can churn that archetype into a much more active style of gameplay. Because like it's not like a normal tank where you press the taunt button and then you do nothing for the next couple seconds except for other taunting skills. This one is like you use your taunt to fuel your power, and then you have an active way to sort of counterattack, but in its own unique way. Again, very Dragon's Dogma-like, something that we will never get to see again. For a period of time, when the attack is blocked, a shockwave will be emitted. Sorry, my wife is texting me. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, you're a very important part of the group here. Without tanks, you'll be lacking in elemental damage all over. Oh, and then that's why you get to choose it, because you get to actually give that away to somebody. I thought it was just you, but that makes sense. Because then you would be able to give it to your ally for them to be able to do something. To enchant ally weapons. That's actually a really cool concept. It feels like, you know, the holy trifecta, or like the holy triangle of the... it's like the staple MMO thing, but really, really amped up to really make you... It's like really, really amped up to where everybody has some option to like change the flow of things. That's fantastic, actually. Why'd this game die? Everything that I'm seeing is like, why'd the game die? Because like sometimes you go into a game and you see a class and it's like, oh, you get to be a healer, and it's like, what's your basic skill? Oh, it's a heal. And then it's like, what do your attacks do? Nothing. So what do? You stand there and you heal. Actually, to be fair, playing the priest, like, the spirit person was a healer, but I'm assuming the priest plays the same. But I mean, they have a skill called Blast Bit, so maybe not. It looks different. You get a heal aura. Actually, this does remind me of the healing spell. You get a heal aura. Field shift. Oh man. Actually, I don't know what it says. I'm assuming that might knock back Holy Aura. I'm assuming this might buff. But even something like this makes me feel like there's so much more that you could do with something as simple as a healing class. Because then now, you have to think about your positioning. Which usually for healing classes, you never really think about that. You just think about dodging the like red circles on the floor. This game says, okay, healing class, but then apply Dragon's Dogma isms to it. Think about how you actually play the game with a much more active mindset. High skill priests can do some crazy things. Yeah, like it seems like that you can do a lot. Because there's like different auras, there's different things that you have to care about. You can choose to do one aura versus someone else. When climbing an enemy, form a healing aura around yourself. It's like, that's pretty cool, because then it's like you can choose to either buff your team to do more damage with a holy aura, or you heal them as you're climbing someone. Ow. Why'd this game die? I just keep saying it. And then the hunter. I mean, I always find the range classes more boring, but I will say Dragon's Dogma had the best range classes. And it's pretty hard to be a range class and have fun. You wake up and you say that every day. Yeah, but you're also a volunteer on this project, right? So it's like, or like a dev. So it's like you are acutely aware of what we're missing. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I might forget about this. You know what I mean? I'm free from the pain of having to feel its loss every day. You have to mourn it every single moment. Wow, wait, so you can reload arrows. There's a fast reload mechanic? What the fuck? Miss. That's so sick. It's almost like you're playing... Man! Why'd this game die? I know it seems inconsequential, because it's like... Reloading arrows, really having this as a mechanic, like that's a thing to be excited about. But it's that little bit of skill expression that feels so interesting to me. Just that little bit of skill expression that changes how you play just a tiny bit, that makes you think about what you do and all the things that you have available to you. And there's different arrow types. It's like, man. Wow. Standing, change stance. Oh my god. This is the coolest game ever. This is the coolest game ever. What? They've even made something as simple as shooting arrows. Because like the Mystic Archer was cool because it has a lock-on mechanic. To make something as simple as just shooting a bunch of arrows fun. Wow. I'm gonna stick with this guy actually. Maybe the hunter is kind of cool. What's my quest? With the defeat the enemy encountered. So I'm gonna go back inside there, inside the tube. I'm assuming that's the more main quest. Whereas the board is probably like a side thing. Can I fall off and die? No. Man, I wonder if they'll ever, because I'm very curious about what the future of this franchise is going to be. Itsuno has left the studio, right? And that, in a way that also stagnates Devil May Cry, but I think Devil May Cry had a much more satisfying ending. Because it's a very character-focused story where Dante and Virgil and Nero and all these different characters, they've been left in a place that I think is a good ending and almost like a send-off for these old names within the series, right? Like it felt like what happened at the very end, which I won't spoil, was a great way to sort of say, okay, their role is done and now it's time to move on. And you know, as cheesy as it is, it was like a good way to say goodbye to these characters and basically allow people to like do something. Oh, my main quest is craft something right now. It's not even on the screen because I have others up. Oh, oops. Oops. Quest log. Craft something. Report at the return of Joseph to Craig at the audience chamber. But yeah, so you have this, right? And then Dragon's Dogma 2, as far as I heard, the story doesn't ever get better. It just sort of stays stagnant the entire way. But because of that, it's like you're left with a very unsatisfying feeling with the game, where the game has so much potential, and it still is very fun to play. Like I still did enjoy Dragon's Dogma 2, but it just never really sort of continues on. Oh, it's not that one. I'm assuming it's the red marker then, which is up in this audience chamber here. And I wonder what's gonna happen, because like I bought the deluxe version for Dragon's Dogma 2. Which should come with all the DLC, and I don't even know if we'll ever get that. Or even if you do, it's like what is it going to feel like? How is it going to be like compared to what it could be, or could have been had somebody still been there? Are you my main quest? Yes. No party memories. Onward reconciliation. Clear main quest of Slumming God. Here we go. It's been a while. I'm not sure of how long the gap between DD and DDDA was, though. That's a good point, too. Yeah. Because like Dark Arisen also came out after a long while, right? So maybe we'll get something. I mean, for sure we will. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I can imagine Capcom was probably much more focused on their Resident Evil franchise. The Arisen Godlon, born from fists. It's interesting that this is a whole different group that's just here, and everyone's just sort of okay with them being here, taking power from this dragon in particular. That's actually the one thing that I didn't really understand about the lore, because Dragon's Dogma 1, spoilers, I mean, I played it on stream, so it feels like it was setting up for this world where there's like a single dragon, and then this dragon is like the world's dragon. Because especially at the end, when you had to make that choice, it was like, it doesn't make sense for there to be multiple people making that's the choice, because it's like the one choice. Whereas this game implies that there's a lot of arisen, and so it's like it's not really that special, and like any dragon can give you that power, which sort of extends the Dragon's Dogma 2, where it's like any dragon can sort of give you this whole power. It's just a pact that like happens. It's not a bad thing, but it is definitely like an interesting change from what the lore was, or what it felt like in terms of how powerful the Arisen and the dragon and sort of your seat at the top being the sessional or something was. It does feel old for maybe it was for the PS4, PS3 loading screen at each door, as maybe there will be a DD2 online. I highly doubt there will be a DD2 online, because it's like Capcom does not strike me as like an MMO team. They strike me as a very, very not, and it's not a bad thing, but they strike me as like a single player focused team. As much as I would wish to, it's like having the main game director gone, and then having Capcom as it is with how they handle Resident Evil and sort of what Resident Evil has become again. It's very different. I'm just playing an FPS now. What's crazy is that, again, you really rarely find games that have this type of mechanic where the headshots matter in an MMO setting. Because playing Terra was also very different from this. And Terra was probably the closest one to this type of gameplay where you had the ability to be action-oriented, right? But even that game didn't have full free aiming. And, I mean, granted, it is hard to do with like that many players, but it really goes to show how different this game is as a whole. Oh god, please. Yeah, this game is old. I mean, in 2015, even in terms of timescale, that's like 10 years ago. But it's specifically, even in terms of what we knew and what capabilities we had back then, right? Like, it's like the power difference of an Xbox Series X to an Xbox 360 is so much different. PS4 to PS5 feels like a whole different thing. And now and you know, that time era was even during the PS3 era, because like I distinctly remember my friend playing a lot of White Knight Chronicle then. He was really into it. DD has always been iffy about how the dragon things work. You would think other nations in the world would care more about a possibly world-ending dragon. Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like they would want to either get a piece of the pie or stop people from being able to utilize it. Especially after the end of Dragon's Dogma 1 and sort of your character's understanding of what that cycle is, and also the revelation of like what a pawn is, right? So it's good to know that it's just inconsistent though. Wait, this was PS3 only. Wow. Wait, how's it playing on PC then? Or did they port it to PC afterwards as part of the MMO stuff? For the console platforms. I see what you mean. Honestly, that does track. I mean, because it's like the Xbox is really, really suited, I think, more towards like the Western games in terms of like probably. I mean, it's probably just because Microsoft is a Western studio, but it always felt like all the really cool Japanese games were on PS3 only. And then nowadays it's very different, but back then, yeah, it was like you would get a PS3 if you wanted to play very obscure Japanese games, obscure quote unquote. But it's like you wouldn't just be like you wouldn't be able to find it elsewhere. That's why a lot of people think the UI reminds them of 2014 to 15 console-focused Japanese MMO. Exactly. Yeah. I swear, weren't they the ones like I swear Japan in general sort of pioneered the whole console MMO thing, right? Because I still remember my PS2 Phantasy Star Online, I think it was. But some other MMO on it. Like it's just an interesting sort of like. It's an interesting way to run a game where you need a console to play it, and then it's an MMO thing. Hey, Gerdlin! Hello, of the Knight's Order. We're sure to want to proceed. Yep, Fantasy Star in those. There we go, yep. Please touch the progress marker. Who are you, are? Leo's messenger? Okay, I'm gonna read this. We've been playing reading games on the stream for the past like several weeks. We just finished Blueprints, and I don't know if I can read it anymore. Like I can read, but I don't want to like say it out loud anymore. Just imagine a voice in your head from Heinz, the ketchup guy. I mean, 50 years. I mean, that's true though, because the power of the Arisen, they did mention that they would gain all of the power, but they probably wouldn't ever die again. These are some of those mentioned older planets. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I did notice some discrepancies, and or like just like the flow of it is slightly different. Is it true? Because I was reading this, but I wasn't really sure because I don't know how to. There's no easy way to confirm this information. But I heard that this all came from the original English patch for the online version. That was just available during that time for the people who like VPN'd in until they play. The situation with Alfred back at the end. Where is Zero? I could just teleport it here. Area Master. Yep. Leo's messenger. Okay. Yeah, monsters for eerie sounds, demons. They won't move. The Arisen won't. He just insults the knights. Yeah, he has a bit of a problem. He just keeps on fighting them. Leo has instructions. Okay, villagers. Okay, I already got that. So I still need to do it. Oh, but I've already touched it. Oh, investigate the abandoned house cellar. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, it's been a work passing through a lot of hands. Yeah, I mean it's just the reality of like any large project. Even if it was like an official project, let's say, right? It's like even working within companies, like the work that you do just passes through so many hands because it's one single person can't do everything. It's always funny to think about, but if you think about compiling all the writing from any particular game, let alone an MMO, you're probably bordering on something like a Song of Ice and Fire in terms of pure volume of content. Let alone an MMO, which is probably multiples more on top of that, right? So, yeah, people on the internet sometimes just vanish. That's an interesting problem that I didn't think about, but that actually does make sense because I also vanished from my workplace. So it's you know what? Everything. It's all about. That's just life, man. You jumped in, you had about 10k entries done from earlier. Now you're up to 80k out of 130ish. That's a lot, yeah. It's like multiple books worth. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I kind of just vanished from my workplace too, where I was like, hey, I'm done. See you guys, and I was like, all right. So, but yeah, I for volunteer projects especially because it's only done on your own free time. There's almost like a adverse disincentive for you staying because it takes away time from things that you need to do in life. I need to reorganize my quest list. Wait, I need to reorganize my quest list. Wait, how about I don't care about the wolves. How do I end this quest? I'll do end this quest. There we go. Oh, shit. You know, I do like that this game kept the ability for you to kick enemies. There was something funny about... I remember there was this period for like, I think 2 sessions where I tried to play this game with purely martial arts within the first game as like a funny just play, and the fact that the game allows you to kick the shit out of people. And I remember saying to myself, I wish this game had a fist fighting class. And then the online version adds it in the form of the Alchemist. It's great. Alas, you pulled the dumb move of doing all the easy entries first, so what we have left now are the heavy text bits and stuff like, it ill likes fire. What's funny is that in my workplace, my coworker and I had this sort of debate about which one you should do. Because it was this task that we had to program for this like stupid web app thing. And I was like, I'm of the opinion that you should do the easy stuff first because of that same idea of like, you know, you like get to build space for yourself in some way. How do you reload again? Did I just forget? It's RR. Okay, RR. There we go. And they were like, no, you should start with the hard stuff first, because like when you get to the hard stuff, it may even change the easy stuff. But I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. But sometimes it really does, and sometimes it is nice to start on the hard stuff. But I feel you. I commiserate with you on the wanting to get the easy stuff first because it's like the low-hanging fruit. There's not really much to think about. You can sort of do it. It's almost like a routine thing that you can get into the flow with. It's fun. Wait, that music was kind of nice. I mean, it still is nice. Some kind of monk analog would be cool, yeah. I mean, it feels like the Alchemist is probably the closest one to it, and at least the gameplay systems, it feels like a much more involved version of like a monk, which I think is fun, especially because it has like the ability to slow enemies and stuff. It's something that you'd have to do anyways for the class, so I think it works. Exactly. Yes, yeah, exactly. Get a bit of dopamine by cranking out 1,000 entries in a day. Exactly. You understand? My issue board at work, no low priorities. The low priorities would be done. The high priority, we had a priority 0 sit for like 2 weeks. And I was like, guys, the system is on fire. Like, somebody's got to do this. Nobody wanted to do it because there's no dopamine until you're like 12 hours in. Instead, it's like, hey, I updated the build system to run a new linter. It's like, thanks, buddy. The website's down. We can't do anything, man. But I couldn't blame them. I only said yes. I understand how you feel. Okay, this was a bad choice. Like, it is stronger, so I'm having less difficulty. But it's just like doing the easy thing, right? You have less difficulty, but you ultimately have less fun. I'm gonna go back to a melee-ish class. And I will try the... I forget the name again now, but the Alchemist feeling class. That one did seem cool. I can imagine this class ends up feeling a lot better eventually. Just for now, it's not really my thing. It's blocked by the Area Master. Did I equip any skills? No. My first skill required 300 JP, and I couldn't afford it. So all I have is this one button. You don't even see this within modern games. Like not me jumping and saying like yeah, but just something as simple as like climbing a ladder. You just don't see that. I don't know. It's usually you click on the ladder and just appear at the very end. Oh, you start with the first one. You think the 300 is just to upgrade it. Oh. I can just use it. You sell clothing. Equipment. Hello. Yes, I'm here for shopping. What do you have for me? Nice. Weapons. Yeah, there's a trainer in every village. Yeah, at the ends. I did see that. I also know that there's also text commands, but I think that was only for changing a class, right? But first, I think I'm going to choose my class based on the item. Because whatever item has the most damage, that's going to get me through this early portion the best. This is all for the... That's the... oh, here we go. Mergator Solitus. Wolf Head. What? Weight 80. This thing has a lot more damage, though. Like 104. How much gold do I have? I have 11,000? I'm so rich. Due to mismatched job level... There's a level requirement? Where is it? I'll deal with that later. I'll get there eventually. Then I can double my damage for I'm on my own local server. Nope. You don't know about the text commands really. That's more in the program inside the project. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm on the public server. Oh, well, I think it's the public server. I was thinking of doing my own local server, but I wanted to see what it felt like with the full MMO experience. The problem is that every time I played, it always says there's 0 players, so I don't know if I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Art supports. Oh, you can't change your class. Ooh, only at the main city, but that's fine. I have a port crystal. Yes, I'm the one who vanquished the monsters. Hello, there's an arena master, area master, long-term relationship. Yes. I'm the dev testing server. Oh, considering the buff that you have and you have left. So there's a different public server that I didn't bother to find the IP of. Instead of one of the 2 big public ones. So there's a whole different system. Okay, you know. I mean, I'm not that far in, and I wouldn't mind just playing on the actual server. But this explains a lot. To be fair, I skimmed it very quickly late one night, and I didn't really pay attention to it, but probably does explain a lot. Those not possible. Your chat commands. 127. Oh no. Yeah, you get this point in like 10 minutes. Yeah, especially now that I know what to do. I before it was a little confusing for me, but now that I know what to do, yeah. How do I start server command? No, that's for setting up your own server. Multiplayer setup. Have other players. I don't know. That's for if you want to do it. It's for the public server. Right. Open DDO launcher. Make your account, and then you go here. Map marker and spawn under there. DB browser for SQLite. No, that's okay. Oh, public server list. I decided to edit this server because it has changed. Oh, I mean, okay. I see these are the 2 public servers. DDO and server that keeps its progress. Custom shops, quality of life custom features. More than 300 players online per day. Here we go. Okay, now it's starting to make sense to me. Dogma Rising. Maybe I shouldn't say it just in case. This is the thing that I'm surprised about. 2. Have you guys gotten any scary legal letters recently? Because this is the thing that always surprises me, right? Is like the fan projects get really far, and at some point, some lawyer steps in and is like, "You can't do this." I'm actually surprised that it's gotten this far for so long. And that there's like multiple versions of it. Not yet. I like how you said not yet and not no. Like you didn't just say no, you just said not yet. I'm assuming that's something that you're all ready to like deal with. Listen, kudos to you. The fear of legal, I'm gonna say that the fear of legality makes me not want to like do stuff like this, but it's in truth it's because I'm too lazy and not motivated enough to be able to like have the patience to do something like this. Noise skilled, but it is still a huge factor. It's like it is pretty scary. Take numbers. DDLs that currently puts polish and progression. We also have more easily obtained gold from bosses, and it's more easily equip yourself and pawns. We are being very careful to toss at anyone that tries to earn money on the project, which you hope gives you a bit of shield at least. Yeah, because that's usually when they go after you. Yeah, because it's usually when you start to make money that they go, hey, bye. Because that's when they go, you really can't be doing this stuff. Am I a human? Yes. Please confirm you're not a robot. Sorry, there's a capture. Just give me a second. But the servers blew up 2 days ago because 3 big streamers all played that day. Now you're up to hundreds on each server. So the publicity will spread. That's the thing, right? It's like at some point people will find out about it, yeah. But it is good because it, at least in my mind, Capcom feels like a little less trigger happy with like the anti-modding stance. Like it feels like they're a little. But at the same time, I'm basing this on the fact that like there's a ton of Resident Evil 4 mods where Leon is like nude, and they haven't done anything to shut that down. So for me, it's like I feel like they're maybe there's a chance that they'll be more open to the idea of hey, maybe we can bring this game back. But then when they do, it's like this whole project would just die. It is, yeah. It honestly puts a big smile on your face to see people enjoying something that you've been a part of creating. You know what? Kudos to you, because that is a feeling that is very hard to get in life. But when you feel it, it really does feel amazing, yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I hope so too. Server is back online. Okay, I know it's online, but how do I join you? Rules. Treat each other with respect. Okay, yeah. Do not post. Okay, no, yeah. It's forbidden to speak about. Okay, it's forbidden to speak about it. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't have spoken about it. Sorry. Client download. Here we go. I wonder if this is a different launcher. No, but maybe they have the same launcher. Wait, what? The load the main game. I mean, this is the thing that's also kind of interesting is the links to the main game. Like that's the thing that makes me go, that's a little iffy. The client is the same, but the launcher could be different. But there is an option in the launcher to add the IPs, right? So I have the generic one, yeah, which should be fine. Check the server and points match. Here we go. Goodbye, Cum Miser. It's nice knowing you. I enjoyed playing with the Cum Miser while they lasted. Shouldn't show this. I'm assuming I need to make a new account as well because technically it's gonna be a whole new system. Let's see. Add. Oops. Here we go. Okay. I'm gonna say this is the testing server. Sure. Save this, and this is the one that I want. Yeah, you're working on a new launcher version that will just have all the servers with the custom images and whatnot instead of having to support three different ones. Yeah, because that does sound painful to have to do. Okay, we'll do this. I'm surprised that I've never heard of this until recently. Like, it's surprising how quiet it was. But now that you said that 3 different big streamers played it, it makes sense why my friend knew about it. Presumably, my friend also saw those streamers playing and was like, "Hey, this is alive again," so they sent me it. I even forwarded it over to my other friend, so. But it is cool. It's cool that this is alive and it's fun to play with. Hell yeah, spread the word. Honestly, I've been trying to. Because, like, it's hard to find an MMO that you want to play, right? And then, but, like, especially just in general, it's hard to get that same feeling of like gameplay that you get from single player games. But so far, in this limited amount of time that I've been playing this game, it just feels like the single player game, but like online. It feels good. It feels fun. I don't even know how I made Cum Miser. It was like 4 a.m. How did I make Cum Miser? It was like 4 a.m. one single night. Do you think they'll probably been fine, right? No, but they said no, not safe for work. What's a good name? What's a good name? Well, you know what? I don't there. It's not entirely altruistic spread the word either. The more people that join, the more chance of more volunteers, which is fair, very, very fair. Yeah. And granted, it is handy and like helpful. I don't blame you. Sorry, I'm trying to find the screenshot section, because if I can find the screenshot section, I can see people's names. And if somebody has a name like Cum Miser, it means that I can use Cum Miser. Chatting in English, okay. Images of the invincible person, okay. Man, there's something funny about Discords. It's like every person has the same level of memery. It doesn't matter what Discord server you go to. Everyone has the same memes. I need more strange. I need images of people's names so I know what to think about. Support channel. Summons. I've been summoned. Okay, it tagged me. Oops. English. Okay. Hey folks, have you been able to get reshade going? What? The hell do you mean? Oh wait, has image. If I get banned, I get banned. Reshade works. That's impressive. Shift this function to restore the default. Sure. Okay. Wow, this whole thing is translated. When I made my character, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I just looked at sliders and I was like, oh, okay, this was cool. Now it all makes sense. Oh, this is such a sperm-like hairstyle. How did I not see this last time? Perfect. You run it with some fake global illumination and ray tracing and stuff. That's impressive. One, it's impressive that somebody, because like now it feels like there's. It's always interesting to see like an ecosystem pop up around this stuff, right? Because like the game is dead. It's a community-run thing. And the community-run thing is so popular that there's a whole reshade for it that the community has made for this community-run thing. It's almost taken on its own official flair in its own way. I don't know if I should do this. It looks very it looks very phallic. looks very phallic. Okay, well, I'm just gonna do it. Makes the magic super pop. Yeah, because the game does look nice, but you can definitely tell it's like dated. Even playing Dogma 1, I had this feeling of if it looked more higher quality, it would look amazing. Dragon's Dogma 2 sort of has that, but it is a different feel. You managed to get the Nexus mods page up about 2 weeks ago, or 3. And the like third one was a nude one, so that's how you know you've made it as a game. That's a real ecosystem. You're right, right? When the nude mods pop up, that's how you know that your game has made it. That's when you know that you've entered the zeitgeist. Dragon's Dogma, Nexus. I'm not going to check the nude mod. I swear I'm going to check just because I want to see what's going on. This is not because I want to see the nude mod. No, sorry. It's not because I want to see the nude mod. No. Also, what does that even mean, actually? How could this have a nude mod? How could this have a nude mod? Dragon's Dogma Online. Sure. Who plays an MMO to see? Can I say something about nude mods? I've said this before, right? I'm too busy trying to survive in the game to jerk off. So, who downloads these? 3 likes. Nude female body. Makes it invisible where truly invisible. Wow. Post 16. Your mod does not work. It works for others, so it's a misstep on your end. Thanks for this, but how do you obtain this invisible armor? You craft them, and it costs 1 million gold. Damn. How did you remove the scar? Install the mod, but the scar is still there. Dragon's Dogma mods banned. You from user banned. Thank you for your fantastic works. Could you please make a 2K version? Look at this 2K version. That's funny. Some people can only survive by seeing butt for every second of their life. I mean, to be fair, have you seen the ones for Resident Evil 4? Leon looks pretty good. Page views, lifetime, every day it gets at least 100 views, and every day it gets at least 3 downloads ever since it went up. That's impressive. What other mods are there? Menu English translations. Small translation figures, the multiple menus across Dragon's Dogma Online. Title screen options. What? Let's let you swap with the current title screen with the title screens of previous seasons. Wow. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen style music. Replace some boss battle music in DDON with music from DDAA or DDA. Intro free, no chat window. That actually might be me. Low key you. Honestly, I need to do a survey at some point to like understand what is the mindset, because I don't get it. Yeah, that's Flint. He's part of the team too. Some of the UI is textures. So they need me modded. Some of the UI is textures. Wow, that seems like an overly. I always love hearing about stuff like this, because when you mod a game, it's like you don't have the context of why it was done. But it's like just hearing that makes me wonder what they were thinking in the first place to make it a texture, to like bake everything inside the texture. Because it feels like it's more work to go into like a photo editing program to type something within like a text box. Because I don't know about you, but anytime I open up a Photoshop like, doing the text layers is slightly more annoying than doing it elsewhere. Dev Project, DDON translation, Xbox and PS4 button layout, nude female body. Well, this is impressive. DDON HD textures. Holy shit. Damn, this is sick. You'd think so. I think so. Damn. This is sick. Thank you for showing me this. It's always nice to have like a dev show up to give us like a nice a deeper understanding of what goes on. Because a lot of this stuff, I wouldn't have even thought to search that up. It's almost incomprehensible that a game like this would have a fan community that can make mods at this point, right? Not because I don't expect that from the community, but because it's just like it's only really done for games that is quote unquote official in some way, right? To see that it's there, it's pretty cool. So thank you for that. I've been appreciating your insights into this process. Yes, that's a good face. Yes. It's pretty much always been a cool new stream in the past few days, so you like to pop in and try to improve the experience. Thank you. It is fun. It's tanking your progress on the translation though. You know what? I always used to tell this to my team members too. I was always like, if you're not having fun, what's the point? At the same time, I left my job with barely any notice except for like a couple hours, so maybe don't take advice from me. I don't even see my eyes. There's no point adjusting my eyes. I don't see my brows. Well, I guess the brow shape matters. Does it change the shape of my hair? No. It does keep it very phallic. The nose matters. The nose in particular matters. Massive nose. I smell everything. Yes, I smell it all. Mouth shape. Here we go. Something that screams funny. Oh yes, tiny lips. There's always something funny about like a tiny lip. Oh yes, I can recede his head into the hair. Yes, I can hide him. I was also very surprised to see almost like the elf ear capabilities, because I was very surprised that there were elves in Dragon's Dogma 2, because I don't remember seeing a single elf in Dragon's Dogma 1. I was like, holy shit, they're elves. And when I saw that you can make an elf ear, I was like, damn, I can see where they took that direction from. Or maybe there was an elf in Dragon's Dogma 1, but I swear we played it so much, but I never saw one. How do I... What's a good facial hair for this? Something that screams pubic. Something very pubic. You know what? Fancy twirly mustache. Pretty good. You don't recall them in the one either, right? It was a very left field decision. It's why I think it feels very fantasy. Or like more fantasy. Yeah, and the dwarves, exactly. Yeah, like it felt way more fantasy than the first game because of those additions. Because there was no real basis for why they were there. Granted, the game is dragons, so it's not like it's not any less fantastical when you consider that the game has this idea of dragons, but the way that the game was handling dragons felt a lot like they were going towards that old school English medieval stuff where it's like, oh, the king is off to slay the worm. That's what it was feeling like it was going towards. And then all of a sudden there's like elves and then dwarves, and I was like, oh. Very Hobbit-like, very Lord of the Rings-like. Here we go. Stance. The Beast Friend were at least mentioned and had some pictures in the DD1 design doc, just never implemented. I didn't know that. Yeah, because the Beast Friend was also very surprising to me too. That's it, like, because to me it felt like it was out of left field. But to know that they were there within the design doc, that is interesting to know. Muscle. No. Let's be real about it. Somewhere here. This is the realest image of a person that you have. Granted, it's just hard to work out. Head size. Wait a minute. Yes. Okay, no shoulders, no waist. Massive hands. Oh yeah, oh god, I'm a freak. Oh no. Oh yes. There we go. Yes, the voice. One of these has to be funny. Hope I don't get banned instantly. But yeah, also thank you for telling me about the official service too. I'm just not... I really should not skim these things. Like it's to be fair, it was 4 AM, but it's always funny to me that there's a very obvious answer that I always miss by skimming something too quickly. Yes. Yes. Wait. Yes. Perfect. Okay. You probably have more luck finding things on the bazaar and for missions here. Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, apparently they have like hundreds of players every day, so this is the... Oh, I won't say which. Again, I don't know... Like, because I'm always worried about showing things off like this. We've shown a couple of other projects that were like this. And I always did note that it's like very risky to do so, because like the more attention it gets, the more likely it is to run into trouble. And I've done it for Nintendo things, which is particularly tricky, because Nintendo loves to shut people down. So that one time I played that Legend of Zelda roguelike, I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone about it, about how I found it. Just that it came onto my desk. Because you never really know. You never really know. Please set the visibility, sure. Yeah, Nintendo will see you for being named Mario and having a mustache. Have you seen that website? There's a website where it's like the projects that Nintendo has killed by like suing. And one of the entries was this guy was born and had the name Mario. That was like, holy shit. I'm glad that Mario is an incredibly uncommon name in my culture. Otherwise, I would have had a lifetime of problems. But then it makes you wonder, right? Why did they hire Bowser? Doug Bowser. Of all people. Have you run again? Double tap. Oh, actually, maybe I can... Maybe they can react with me for the various grabbing and flying attacks. Because I've never really seen a grabbing attack yet. No, never mind. Reduce troll thing, it's compass slash. Yeah, this is... I see that... Oh, I also have... I guess now I have Dixtral's Blessing. What's this? The other one was a Aerogene Blessing. For small enemies, you gotta knock them down first to grab, yeah. Okay, yeah, because I forgot a lot of the Dragon's Dogma combat system. It's like so unique that if you don't keep playing it, it's easy to forget. But I also tried to grab the Cyclops, and I feel like I'm doing it wrong because I couldn't grab him. Can I grab you? Oh, I have limits down there. I forgot. Oh, you can! Okay, now I know how to play the game. Now it's coming back to me. Okay. I like how this game also has a much more controllable camera. So it's interesting that this game came out because this is sort of the experience that I wanted from Dragon's Dogma 1, which was a much less, almost wonky style of gameplay. Because the one thing that I hated from Dragon's Dogma 1 was the camera control of everything. Now the power comes out. Exactly. Now I can actually play properly. Okay, what does right click do? I'm assuming right click is so he doesn't shake me off. And left click is what you do to actually deal some damage. Gotcha. Oh yeah, you can do like a rising attack. I forget how though. Can you grab me? Oops. Oh, what's the marker? This feels so much smoother. I died. So when I made my character, I died during the tutorial. The tactics trials from the training will teach you about the right stuff. I highly recommend doing those free trials. Okay, I couldn't figure out how to do it before because A, I didn't get the translation update, but B, I just kind of figured that it wasn't done. Because I'm never really sure, but there are also prerequisites for unlocking strong skills later, so I have to do it. Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. Because I wasn't sure if I should do them or like what tactics I really need, but now that I know that it's very required and helpful, I'll try and do them. Because that was my main problem, was figuring out what buttons to press. Again, it's interesting that there's these like tactics tutorials and these different choices for a game like this. You just don't get this from any other MMO. But I'm so bad at this. And the thing that this is... Oh, actually, there's one thing about the multiplayer, which I'll see eventually, but... How did they handle the pawns in multiplayer, right? Because it's like... The whole point of Dragon's Dogma Pawns was it was like a pseudo-multiplayer experience. But if you have multiplayer players, do you lose your pawns? It's sort of interesting to think about how this game could have been very different. You only wrote them like 2 weeks ago, a day or two before they were patched in, so they're fresh off the presses even for high-level players. Nice. Right? You can bring pawns to multi. That's this game just gets. Why did it die? Why did it die? Because that was the only concern, right? Because like you always the thing that I remember reading a lot of on various Reddit threads, let's say, of Dragon's Dogma 1, because I was trying to figure out why the game all of a sudden has no more. Like, before they announced Dragon's Dogma 2, I was like, okay, how come the game isn't getting anything else? Or like, how come it just sort of disappeared, right? And the thing that people were always afraid of about adding multiplayer to this game was losing the pawns. But the fact that they actually did the online properly for the fan base, again, it just makes you wonder, why is everything gone? Like, why is the game just dead? What happened? I've seen this. Yep, we go here, we do this. Here we go. Yep, I show up inside the town, the White Dragon. Yep, here we go. Happy Valentine. Custom skills. This game info. Yep, can be found here. Okay, cool. Oh my god, there's a person. Hey. Oh my god, there's people. There's Sir Gronk. There's Idaka May. Oh my god, there's actually people. I can see people. Look! Another small person. Hello! Oh, so many different characters. I'm gonna get banned because I don't think I haven't seen anyone with a name like mine yet. This is I'm gonna get banned. There's a conspiracy theories about why Capcom's MMO division shut down, but no one truly knows. Yeah, it's all speculation, and they'll never really say. It's just interesting to like see. There's been some iffy names before. That's the one thing that I also commend private server runners on, is that you don't. It's all volunteer, right? But having worked in a company that has like a real online service, it is not not a real online service, but like one that I get paid for. One where we make money, and it was healthy enough that we made a fair amount of money that we could keep going. The shit that you have to moderate is incredibly frustrating to deal with, because it's not just shit like Cum Miser. It's like, it can get pretty bad, you know what I mean? So, again, it takes a lot of effort to run these servers, because like there's a lot that you have to do to keep the experience actually fun for everyone, and not just sort of evolve into something that's just a really offensive mess, if that makes sense. Well, you know all about that. Yeah, like it takes a lot of effort to like do this. So again, kudos. But yeah, the Arisen's abilities. Yep. Fabio, I need you. Happy Valentine. Why is there chocolate ice cream? Also, I did follow him. What was interesting about this game too is that it was kind of cool to see that the NPCs sort of reacted the same way as in Dragon's Dogma, where you could follow them and they would like say lines, and then they would say, "This is the crafting bench" and stuff. It was a really cool thing to see, because again, most MMOs just don't have that. Most MMOs, the NPCs sort of stay static and they sort of do nothing. Whereas in this game, it really is just Dragon's Dogma. Again, just put into an online space. This place would be so cool. It was packed. There's that adage. If you let one Nazi stay in your bar, even if you exactly, yeah. It's the exact same thing. If you let one Nazi stay, then like all the Nazis stay, and then all of a sudden your bar becomes like a Nazi bar. That's the thing that like really got to me, is that. But at least I was being paid to do it, right? So, but for stuff like this, you don't get paid to, man. You have to deal with people like me saying "cum miser," not the Nazi, but like the cum miser. That was I need to think about this. I need to think about how I say things. Sorry. Yes. I'm assuming Malimusi is that person's pawn. Take the blink strike. Ah, it is free. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna change my class, not into the archer, but into the fisticuffs. Where are you? Magic gauntlet. Yeah, and then I get the first skill for free. But yeah, it's why it's so difficult to do, because then it's like, you know, people will try to push as much as they can. Drag fists to the ground, creating encircling Okay, so if I use this and I jump and I go down, I can make spikes. Basic tactics. Okay, I'll do that later. Oh, that's a real player. Oh. Malimusi. Hello, Fabio. I know it seems like I'm skipping everything, but I read it last night. But at the same time, it was on the old translation, so maybe there's like a new one. Wait, wait, no. I have to finish this. What's funny is that there has to be some level of pain as a developer of things, because like I do feel this pain too, where you make a really cool looking thing and then people skip all over it. You know, the moderators on the servers have been getting worked pretty hard the past 3 days. Yeah. Oh yeah, especially with like the amount of people who join. I can easily find a skeleton. Thin wood baby herb. I can find a bunch of goblins. This is way easier. But hey, that is a good sign that things are going. I do, like I still am curious about how long term it's going to be. Of like, mostly from people that don't seem to know how raw archives and things work anymore. It seems like kids don't learn computers anymore. Not to say that as a boomer. Okay, no, but you are correct. There was this thing. My buddy's a teacher. We talk about this all the time. I'm a programmer. He's a teacher. But he has the same level of understanding of like the basic technical stuff as I do. So it's like he can navigate like archive files. He knows how to like place things in like different folders. And it's just a reality that like a lot of the younger generation, it seems like, just seem to use interfaces that have abstracted all of that out so you don't have to care about it. At the same time, I didn't even know that there were different servers. So am I really any different? Probably not. Oh, I get how this class works. So you place it on them. This is such a cool class. It's just surprising to see people with PCs downloading games that don't read in instructions. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm also at fault. But it is true, because it's like, especially for a game like this, where it's not an official channel, because like official channel stuff can be very abstracted. Like it's not that hard to download, say, Genshin Impact or Infinity Nikki and like play the game, or like League of Legends or something, right? Like it's mostly like an install and go package. For something like this, to even find it, you have to have a certain level of ability to follow some level of instruction. Again, at the same time though, I didn't see the different servers, so it's like, am I really one to say? You managed to install and get into the game. That's a lot further than most people manage. That is true. That is true. You know what? Thank you for making me feel better about myself. Where are these goblins? I swear there was like a million goblins. Goblins on the right side. You see this? Like, my ability to now remember where the monsters are? Like, you don't really get that. In MMOs, you just find the field where the monsters spawn and it tells you what they spawn. In this, it's like, you have to explore and remember and like take into consideration where you are. That's cool. Holy shit, he's dead. This is free? I just keep on doing this? Oh, but he shields. Not anymore. Hey, what the slap my ass. There we go. Okay, now he's open. Okay, now and then I do this. I wonder, I must be missing something about the icons, because I can't really tell if he's like torpid. Also, I remember these are goblins now. You have to wait for them to attack, and then you walk behind them. Yeah, even when you get the adventure guide, stuff you haven't found up yet will just show up as a question mark. Though you can go to the area mass and pay them for hints. You can pay them for hints. That's an interesting system. And again, it's the perfect kind of system for a game like this. Well, why did this game die? Maybe Capcom, you know what? My dream is that Capcom will see this and then go, huh, maybe we shouldn't have like stopped that entire division. Because it's like, they have Monster Hunter, and I feel like with the new Monster Hunter, they're like 99% of the way there with what this is, effectively, in terms of like how it runs and how it gets translated over and like ported over, right? Surely now they would have a better understanding of, well, people do have a hankering for this type of thing. Surely. Maybe. Though I've also heard Dragon's Dogma didn't do as well as Dragon's Dogma 2 didn't do as well as their other games, so shame. Okay, report the quest clear. We'll go back. Now that I know what to do, it's a lot easier. Yeah, this has been a fun experience. I have to go soon-ish, in like maybe 10 minutes, but it's been fun. And again, thank you to you for showing up, one of the devs. I do appreciate it. Especially telling me that this servers with like people in them. You'd think, but the other game that got shut down with the MMO division was a Monster Hunter MMO. Really? Is Monster Hunter the game where like they take days off to play the game? Like in advance of a new Monster Hunter game dropping, they tell their employees to take days off because they know that they'll do it anyways? It's like planned in the calendar? How does this happen? What are they doing? That's kind of, I don't know, it's always fascinates me. There's like something going on there, and I feel like it feels like there should be a whole different way that things should be going, but man, it's frustrating. It's been fun. Huh, no worries. You'll be looking in again. Yep. Well, I mean, to be fair, I usually rarely play MMOs on the stream, so don't hold your hopes up. It's not because the game isn't fun. It's not because I don't appreciate the efforts. It's just really hard for me to dedicate time to an MMO. So, but if anybody in chat does want to play, please let me know, because this is actually very fun. But we need to finish some games. We need to finish Replicube, Blueprints. Blueprints is kind of done. We need to finish a lot of games actually. Yeah, it's just because the games just take up time. But this is a genuinely fun MMO, because like it's really hard to get into an MMO just because most gameplay styles is like the slow tab targeting. This feels good. And Terra was for me one of the better ones, but this blows the water out of Terra. So why did I die? You know what? We'll end it right here, in front of the Extreme Missions boy, which I've heard that this is new as well. I think, or maybe, I'm not sure. But if you do want to try it out yourself, look it up yourself. I'm not going to spread it. It's a Google search away, and you're gonna figure it out on your own. I don't want to be the one who like is like the final straw on the camel's back, and all of a sudden Capcom swoops in, right? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Yeah, so you look it up for yourself and find it. And if you do, it's absolutely worth it to play. Again, runs very well. Obviously, it's a very old game, but 60 FPS, you get to play the game, and the servers are actually fully filled if you join a real server and not the test server I was in. And the gameplay you really can't get anywhere else. Yeah, and the pawns make it easier to drop in and out. Exactly, because like that's the thing that it's funny, because I've seen other MMOs take that approach now. Like you play Lord of the Rings Online, or WoW, or Final Fantasy 14. They've been releasing these types of content where you have NPCs following you, and you can even choose the NPCs that you want to follow you into these various dungeons or like quest areas. And I'm like, this game just has that, but it's better because this is like the original take on like the idea of like a pawn system, and you can have them while playing with other people apparently, which is amazing. So to me, it's like I feel like I don't know why this game died, and I feel like everyone should give this a go. And I'm glad that I finally got to try it, because I had heard so much about it from my friend who did play it, and it made me want to play it so much, but it's lived up to my expectations, and even more so. It's just, if you like Dragon's Dogma and the unique take that it has on the game, on like this particular type of game, this like genre of gameplay, and the way that its action combat is like much more like tactical in its own way, I think you'll really like this. Yeah, thanks for watching. That's it for this Dragon's Dogma online playthrough. I'll be playing this a bit more off stream if I have time later, but that's it for today. And again, thank you for dropping in and helping me to dev. Again, if you want to play this, find it out on your own.